All right, let's get right into it. You've all seen those huge, messy piles of wood at construction sites, right? It just looks like chaos. But what if I told you that hidden inside all that messy wood is an incredibly valuable resource for our new bioeconomy? Today, we're going to take a look inside the 905 Wood Digital Refinery to see exactly how they turn that waste into pure, high-grade value. And this, right here, is the heart of the entire problem. The industry calls it the quality gap. See, on one hand, you have that construction waste. It's all mixed up, it's contaminated, totally inconsistent. But on the other hand, the bioeconomy needs a feedstock that is unbelievably pure. We're talking less than 1% contamination and under 10% moisture. Trying to bridge that gap is a massive, massive challenge. So, here's the plan for our tour today. First, we'll dig a little deeper into that quality gap. Then I'll introduce you to the digital refinery itself. After that, we'll actually follow a load of wood through its first checkpoint, see how it gets verified with some serious science, understand how the whole compliance and value part is automated, and finally, we'll see how this whole thing becomes a blueprint for a truly circular economy. Okay, so let's really nail down this quality gap problem. For the folks producing the waste, it means huge disposal costs and just a ton of regulatory headaches. And for the bioeconomy, it means they can't get enough raw material. You see, if you can't get a consistent, high-quality supply of feedstock, you can't build a business. This gap is without a doubt the single biggest thing holding back the circular wood economy. You know, what I love about this quote is that it's not just some marketing slogan. This single sentence is their entire mission statement. It's not about just hauling junk. It's about engineering a sophisticated solution to a huge systemic problem. They're literally using technology to build a bridge from waste to value. So how do they actually build that bridge? Well, let's get into the solution. They call it the digital refinery. And honestly, it's the perfect name for it. Because it's not just one piece of software or a single machine. It's a complete 5-layer system designed to take a raw, messy input and spit out a pure, incredibly valuable product. And here are those 5 layers. It all starts with intake, right there at the construction site. Then you have the logistics layer, which figures out how to move it all. The regulatory and financial layers, well, they handle all the complex paperwork and the money side of things. And it all leads up to the final, crucial step, scientific validation. So let's start our journey right at the beginning, with intake. Okay, I want you to picture this. A truck driver is at a construction site, about to pick up a bin full of wood. This is where the whole digital journey kicks off, right there on their phone. They call this first step the compliance gate. And for good reason. It's designed to stop problems before they can even start. So the driver pulls out their phone, opens an app, and snaps a picture. That app is powered by a super fast, really efficient AI. In less than 2 seconds, it makes a quick judgment call. Is this clean wood or treated wood? This is absolutely critical because it moves the decision-making process upstream. Instead of finding a bunch of contamination way down the line, they catch it right at the source, which prevents an entire truckload from getting contaminated. The AI takes a look at the photo and, boom, it makes a call. Clean wood. Seems simple enough, right? I mean, the wood looks old, maybe a little weathered, but you don't see any paint or stains, so case closed? Well, not so fast. And this is where the system gets really, really smart, because the driver already logged the pickup location as a demolition site, which is a high-risk category. The system's internal logic kicks in. It's something called a precautionary principle, and it automatically overrides the AI's initial assessment. The load gets flagged for a mandatory second look. But why would it do that? And that question brings us to the next stop on our tour, the Central Biomass Hub. This is the physical facility where all that flagged high-risk material gets sent for a much, much deeper analysis. This is where the system finds its undeniable scientific ground truth. So here's exactly why that AI got overridden. First, old, weathered, pressure-treated wood can look almost identical to clean wood, especially to a regular camera. But the real danger, the invisible threat, is the heavy metals left over from old chemical treatments. We're talking about things like arsenic, copper, and chromium. And if those are present, that wood can legally be classified as hazardous waste. That's a risk you absolutely cannot afford to get wrong. So, at the hub, they bring out the big guns. First up is hyperspectral imaging, which uses near-infrared light to see the chemical fingerprints of those old treatments that are totally invisible to our eyes. Then they hit it with X-ray fluorescence, or XRF, which is a scanner that can spot and identify the specific heavy metals. These sensors don't guess, they delivered the final definitive verdict.
Okay, so we've collected all this amazing data, both from the driver's phone in the field and from these advanced sensors in the lab. Now let's get to the brains of the operation. This is where the platform takes all that raw data and magically transforms it into automated compliance and real, tangible financial value. The system uses a really powerful type of AI called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG for short. The easiest way to think about it is this. Instead of just making up an answer, this AI is forced to go look up the information in a specific rulebook, in this case Ontario's environmental regulations, before it makes a decision. This is huge because it prevents mistakes and means every single compliance call it makes is fully explainable and legally sound. And this table is a perfect example of what that AI is looking up. These are the hard and fast numbers from the law. If that XRF sensor finds that a sample of the wood leaches more than 2.5 milligrams per liter of arsenic, the law is crystal clear. That load must be documented with a hazardous waste manifest. The RAG engine does this automatically, connecting the sensor data directly to the legal requirement. No guesswork. The final product of all this work is something called the Digital Diversion Certificate. And believe me, this is way more than just a simple receipt. It's a secure digital chain of custody. It has the GPS data from the pickup, the full breakdown of the wood's composition from the AI and sensors, and proof of where it ended up, all wrapped up neatly in a report that's ready for any audit. All right, let's talk about the money, because this is where the system creates a true win-win situation. Under the old way of doing things, if you send that wood to a landfill, you get hit with a special fee. It's called a CIRCIL levy, and it can be up to $60 for every ton. It's a direct financial penalty for creating waste. But, and this is the beautiful part, if you use the 905 wood system and that digital certificate proves your wood was actually diverted and recycled, that $60 a ton levy drops to zero. It's shown as a line item right on the invoice. It's a simple, incredibly powerful financial reason to do the right thing. And it gets even better than that. The system doesn't just help you avoid costs, it actually creates brand new revenue. For every load, it calculates how much carbon was permanently removed from the atmosphere. Then, when the carbon credits for that removal are sold, the money is shared back with the client. They call it a carbon dividend. Your waste stream has literally just become a revenue stream. So, when you zoom out and look at the big picture, you start to see that this is about so much more than just wood. By systematically finding and creating value from what we used to call waste, this model gives us a data-driven blueprint for a cleaner, more sustainable economy. This is how we manage our resources in a truly circular way. And this chart just sums it all up perfectly. You get compliance automation, which saves a ton of time and reduces risk. You get direct cost reduction and new revenue from carbon. For the bioeconomy, you're creating a guaranteed source of pure feedstock. And the entire process is built on a foundation of transparent data. It's a win for business, and it's a win for the planet. Which really just leaves us with this one big, crucial question. If we can do all of this for wood, what's next? I mean, think about all the other things we call waste. Plastics, drywall, textiles, you name it. What other hidden value is just sitting out there waiting for its own digital refinery to come along and unlock it?